Hello leaders, let's look at section 11 of our master guide course, Finishing the Gospel Commission. Finishing the Gospel Commission. This is between 1960 and 2000. The brackets or parentheses there show continuity up to now. Okay? Now, increasingly difficult circumstances. Ellen White warned the church that as the end approaches, the work will have to be done under increasingly difficult circumstances, which include number one, strife, war, and jealousy among nations and tribes, instability in the business world, accidents by land, sea, and air, calamities in the natural world, floods, drought, earthquakes, hurricanes, or tornadoes, etc. Number 5, starvation and privation at unprecedented levels, undue nationalism and provincialism, fragmenting society. 7, political strife and turmoil. 8, collapse of society through destruction of the family, loss of discipline, perversion of morals. Okay? Now, just as John the Baptist was the herald of the first coming of the Lord, so the remnant church is the herald of the second coming of Jesus Christ. The church has been able to keep pace with the technological age we live in by constantly finding ways of applying the new invention to our mission. It will be very difficult to adequately summarize all these efforts into just a few paragraphs, but here are a few evidences of continued advance in the proclamation of the three angels' messages. Number 1, based on the 1997 data, more than 85 persons are joining the church every hour. This is nice. Okay? 2, almost 3 new churches are being organized every day. We say amen to this. 3, Pathfinders have helped finance and assemble a plane that went into mission service at the beginning of the new millennium. 4, public evangelism has gone out of this world by broadcasting via satellite. Number 5, 5-day plans to stop smoking was introduced in 1962, have reached hundreds of thousands. 6, new departments and services have been established at various levels of church leadership. 7, an agency designed to help those affected by disaster or extreme poverty was organized, first under the name of Seventh-day Adventist World Service, which is SAWS, then restructured as the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA. Okay? Under 30 age group comprises more than 70% of the church membership. Okay? Now, we also have significant anniversaries that we can be proud of. Beginning in 1960 and forward, the church began celebrating various anniversaries which have helped to remind us of God's leading in the past. Nevertheless, they also remind us, however, they also remind us that we have not yet reached the promised rest spoken of at the close of Hebrews chapter 11. Okay? Now, in 1960, these are important anniversaries. In 1960, 100th of the adoption of the name Seventh-day Adventist, because it was adopted in 1860. So in 1960, it reached what? 100 years. In 1961, 100 years of the formation of the first conference. And in 63, 100 years of the organization of the denomination. Okay? Organization of the what? Denomination, 1963. 1966, 100 years of the first sanitarium or hospital. Okay? In 1968, 100 years of the first camp meeting, because the first camp meeting was in 1968. So in 1968, 100 years anniversary. In 1972, you know what happened in 1872? The first education school was organized by Goodlow H. Bell. Okay, so 100 years later, anniversary, which is 1972. 1974, 125 years of the first periodical. Okay, 100th year of the first missionaries. Okay, same year. In 1874, that's when John Navis Andrews was sent as the first church overseas missionaries, being sponsored by the church. And he was sent to Switzerland. That was in 1874. So 1974, that is 100 years later. Okay, 1976, 50 years of camping ministry. 1979, you know what happened in 1979? The youth society in town was organized. So in 1979, that is the anniversary. Okay, in 1980, 100th of the first conference outside North America, American Denmark. Okay, now in 1881, James White died. So in 1981, the 100 years of death of James White. Okay. 1993, the opening week of Southern Asia, India. Okay. 1997, 75 years of Pathfinder classes, because they were organized in 1897. 1996, 50 years of first Pathfinder club in California, because 1999, 120 years of youth ministry. 2050 years of World Pathfinders. 50 years of World Pathfinder, because it was officially organized in 1950. Okay. Now, section 12. The departments of the church. Facts about the department and services. Facts about the department and the what and services. Number 1. They have been organized to distribute responsibility and provide specialized expertise to strengthen various aspects of the church or of church life. 2. The ultimate objective of every department is to win souls for the Lord through as many and varied means as possible. Departmental work is advisory. So you should know the objective of every department of the church. Are we together? Very good. Okay. There are departmental directors at all levels. There are departmental directors at what? At all levels. The local church, the conference of field, the union, the division, and the general conference. Okay? The leaders of various departments cooperate with one another in order to keep a unified and balanced work throughout the world. Okay? A few departments are listed to certain territories and are not worldwide. Okay? So not all departments are worldwide. They depend on the need of that of the people in that particular region. Okay. Most of the following departments are found in all divisions of the world. Communication department. Let's start with the communications department. The mission statement of the communication department is building bridges of hope. Building bridges of hope. The desired effect of the Adventist communication vision and activities is to create a favorable image of the church. To create a favorable image of the church, its mission, life, and activities, and witness that men will become followers of Christ and become members of his church. Okay? The communication department of the General Conference dates back to 1972, when it was transformed from the former Bureau of Public Relations and the Radio Television Department to Communications Department. Okay? It was formerly called Bureau of Public Relations and the Radio Television Department. The department has these basic functions: news and information, public and media relations, and online services. We are talking about the communications department here. We have the education department. The education department provides coordination and supervision to the worldwide Seventh-day Adventist educational system, from the elementary school to the university level. Adventist educational institutions promote the total development of their students' mental, spiritual, physical, and social, and actively support the mission of what? Of the church. Good. Of the church. We are talking about the education department here. The first official Adventist elementary and secondary school began in Battle Creek, Michigan in 1872, and the first college opened in the same location in 2 years later, just 2 years later, in 1874. The education department publishes the Journal of Adventist Education. The Adventist Education is published by the Education what? Good department. Let's look at the Family Life department. The objective of the department is to strengthen families as disciple-making centers. Established at creation, the family is the primary setting in which values are learned and the capacity for close relationships with God and with other human beings is developed. The department seeks to enable families to stretch towards divine ideals. The department fosters growth opportunities through family life, education, and marriage, and family enrichment programs. It supports and encourages families and family members to avail themselves of professional counseling to provide healing from abuse or other trauma. We have the global mission. No, mission is the primary work of the church. As Seventh-day Adventists, we have a mandate to proclaim the name of Christ to every person in the world. To serve this objective, nothing is more cutting edge than global what? Mission. Good. Than global mission. In 1990, the World Church created Global Mission. Global Mission's mandate is clear. However, the only way the church can hope to meet the challenge of mission is through each member's involvement. Your involvement, okay? Pray every day that the Holy Spirit will continue to prepare and reap the harvest. Find a way to personally impact mission. Remember the AYM, the Advent message to all the world in my what? In my generation. So we've looked at 3 departments. We've looked at the communication department, the education department, and the global mission. Now, let's look at the health ministries department. The objectives of this department are, number 1, to promote health and well-being of all members of the church and community. Number 2, to establish caring units such as hospitals, clinics, smoke cessation support groups, or even AIDS support groups in churches, schools, or other Adventist and non-Adventist what? Institutions. Okay? This department also has the objective to promote abstinence from harmful substances. Health ministries seeks to establish, above all, relationships with people regardless of race, gender, age, or circumstances through which the healing power of God's hand can be disseminated. Okay? Ministerial association serves pastors, pastoral spouses and families, evangelists, Bible instructors, and local church elders. Official publications of the Ministerial Association are Shepherdess International Journal for pastoral spouses. We also have Elders Digest for local church elders, and the Ministry Magazine, which goes monthly to all Adventist ministers. Okay? And the bi-monthly to clergy of all denominations. Official books are Minister's Handbook and Elders what? Handbook. Okay? Very good. Let's look at the public affairs and religious liberty. Public affairs and religious liberty. This department has had only one objective: to preserve the rights of every person, everywhere, regardless of creed or status. These rights to worship, these are rights to worship, right to life, right to liberty, were given, okay? These were given to man by his creator. Therefore, the department has placed the views of the church regarding the principles of separation of church and state before officials and public leaders through what? Liberty Magazine. So the magazine produced by Public Affairs and Religious Liberty is the Liberty Magazine. Stanley Bart what? Magazine. We have publishing department. The publishing department is responsible for fostering the production and sale of Adventist evangelistic and nurturing literature, as well as recruiting, training, and assisting literature evangelists with their work. This, in a sense, is the oldest of departments. For the publishing work, it dates back to 1849. The first stem press was paid by a farmer selling his oxen. Publishing is the oldest department. George King was the first literature evangelist beginning in 1878. Okay? Let's look at the PM and Sabbath School. Sabbath School and the personal ministries. These are intertwined. The aim is to provide resources and training coordination for Sabbath School and for membership involvement in soul winning and to promote world mission emphasis. Okay? The mission of the Sabbath School unit is to provide religious education systems and materials for the local church that build faith and practice. The department produces the Sabbath School Bible study guides in various editions for all age groups. Personal ministries. The mission of the personal ministries is to motivate, equip, and mobilize the membership to accomplish the world mission of what? Of the church. Its responsibility is to organize and lead the church into service for Christ. Also encourage what? It encourages evangelism. Okay? Let's look at another department of the church, which is stewardship. Stewardship. The goal of this department is to provide for every church member the opportunity to understand, accept, and live true stewardship as a lifestyle. We also have women's ministry. You know that women make up 70% of the Seventh-day Adventist church. Do you know that? Women make up about 70% of our church. The spiritual growth of these women, regardless of age, is first objective of women's ministry. Is the first objective of women's ministry. Spiritual growth of these women. Okay? Involving women ministering to or and for women. Then we have the youth ministries department. Okay? For several decades, this department was known as the Youth Department of Missionary Volunteers, which is abbreviated as MV Department. Okay? Youth Department of Missionary Volunteers. Okay? Now, aspects of youth ministry that are attended to by this department include Adventure Club with the age group. With the age group changed. So this one is supposed to be 4 to 9 and not 6 to 9. Because there are two classes that were introduced. So from age 4 to 9. Okay? We have Eager Beaver, Sunbeam, Little Lamb, Busy Bee, Helping Hand. Okay? And the like. Now, we also have the AJY, Adventist Junior Youth and Pathfinder clubs, ages 10 to 15. These are also related to classes. They have 6 classes. Okay, 6 age-related classes. Friend, Companion, Explorer, Ranger, Voyager, and Guide. Now, the AY Society and other young adult-related organizations and the activities designed for age 16 to 30 and 16 to 30. The purpose of the youth department is to aid in the harmonious development of the physical, mental, and social and spiritual life of the youth, and to train and organize them for Christian service. The key expression that permits all youth ministry related activities is salvation and salvation and service. The department also produces a quarterly publication called Youth Ministry Accent, or the Accent magazine is produced by Good Youth Ministries Department. World Youth Directors of the General Conferences since the department was organized in 1907 are as follows. From 1907 to 1930, we had Elder Emiken. And then from 1930 to 1933, we had Harriet T. Elliott. Okay, H.T. Elliott. Then from 34 to 46, we had A.W. Peterson. 1946 to 55, we had E.W. Dunbar. Then 1955 to 1970, we have Theodore Lucas. Okay, Theodore Lucas. Then in 1970 to 1980, here, just as there's a mix up here, this one, we had John Hancock. John Hancock, 1970, he was the youth director between 1970 and 1980. So he served this department for 10 years. Then in 1980 to 1985, we had Theo Lanzolin. Okay. Then we have from 1980, Department of Church Ministry. Okay. Then we have 1995 to 2010, Baraka Muganda. Okay. Baraka Muganda. Then from 2010, we have Arakandi, we had the Lord here, we have Wusi Kumalo and others. Okay, so that's the end of section 12, section 11 and 12. In section 13, we're going to look at the world divisions of the church. Okay, the gospel to all what? To all the world.